Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jamesville-DeWitt Central High School here in DeWitt, New York. Thank you so much for joining us here on the home opener for the JD girls basketball team facing Oneida. Hi everybody, Sam Gelfand here, the voice of the Red Rams, alongside my broadcast partner Nick Dekaney, and we are very excited to be bringing you the first girls basketball contest of the season.
Absolutely. We waited a long time for this to come, so both teams own one on the season, coming off a loss to open it up, so you know they're going to be hungry for a win tonight.
Oneida also 0-1. They are a Class B team compared to the Red Rams Class A, but they are one of the premier Class B programs in all of Section 3, a record of 8-2 in 2021. Then in the last full season in 2019, they were 21-2.
Absolutely. Coach Nestler has built a great program there in Oneida, so it's going to be a big task today for the Red Rams.
And just for comparison, the Red Rams are 16-7 in that season, as we are now all ready to go. And it is the Red Rams with the ball first. That's Miriam Zogby on the top of your screen, currently controlling passes over to Ava Sandroni. Sandroni driving in, back out to Maddie McKinney. Decides to hit Zogby, who hands it off to Victoria Payne up off the glass, and it rolls off the rim. That was the Red Rams' first opportunity. What do you think it's going to indicate today?
Well, they got a good look open at the rim, so they ran a nice play, and I think it's going to be a good start for them.
Oneida now will get their first touch on the ball. And controlling is Emma LeBlanc. Both of these teams running all guard starting lineups.
Yeah, interesting strategy there from both teams to run a small ball kind of lineup. Definitely want to create faster paced offense and get open in transition.
Rebound taken away by Ava Sandroni, the freshman guard. Red Rams fielding a young team this season, but not one devoid of talent, though there is a travel there called on the freshman, the sophomore, Anaya Neal. Now that's Emma LeBlanc who takes it across half court. Quick handoff, though it was almost muffed by Maya Rainbow. Pass off the hands of Kay Currow, though she gets it back. And there was a hold called.
And already a really physical game. 3 or 4 fouls called just in the first minute of action here, so a sign of things to come here for this game.
You know, that's something that you tend to see in teams that are used to having lots of success, is they tend to play more physically. It's a strategy that often has drawbacks because you do get called for more fouls, but a little bit of physicality can be the difference, say, between a missed shot and going to the free throw line.
And especially when you get into those crunch time minutes, the physicality and the wear and tear you put on the other team plays a big role in how they can shoot when it comes down to clutch minutes.
Pulling up from long is Currow, and it rattles off to the right. Rebound snatched up by Neal. Coming around now is Macy Durkin, who's been a really important utility player for the Red Rams. Loses the ball, does Ava Sandroni, and it will go Oneida's way.
Neither team yet to get a clean look at the basket. Just trying to generate some offense and get things going.
Not often you see the first minute and a half of a game expire without any points scored. LeBlanc takes it across. A little overhead pass now. It is controlled by Currow. Gives it over to Rainbow. Has it snatched away by the Red Rams. Durkin now. Down court. Quick pass over. Driving into Sandroni, who puts up 2. And Ava Sandroni draws first blood for the Red Rams.
Yeah, and a nice drive to the basket by Sandroni. Good thing to get things going for the Red Rams.
Now Maya Rainbow is off target. Can the second time be the charm? No. Rolls off to the right and rebounded by Macy Durkin. Durkin lost the ball for a moment there, but you want to talk about turning lemons into lemonade. It gave her a bit of a moment to be able to rethink what her strategy might be on this break.
And Durkin, such a good facilitator of the offense, does a great job of creating for her teammates, as you see there.
And Sandroni puts up 2 more. That's her new career high, although that isn't saying much. This is only her second game on varsity. But she has all 4 of the Red Rams' points so far. Poked away, and there's that backcourt violation. That's the defense the Red Rams want to be seeing.
Yeah, and the Red Rams starting off pesky on the defensive side of the ball, getting good steals and tips to slow down this Oneida offense.
You know, it's almost something that we're seeing from the old Rob Seichin offense. The Red Rams previous head coach, as he preached the defense to such a high and important extent that really, you would see the Red Rams, they would rarely give up more than 30 points a game.
And defense wins championships, so obviously he was right in that, and they won a lot of state championships.
Three-peat 2017, 18, or 16, 17, and 18. One of the most successful basketball programs in all of New York State as Neal spins around into the key and gets called for a travel. She planted her feet, can't do that.
Yeah, but Oneida, good job swarming to the ball there and keeping her on the ground, making sure she didn't get a clean shot.
And it looks like we're going to have our first timeout of the day, taken by Jamesville-DeWitt. And while we have this moment, why don't we take a look at how these two teams did last season, just to give you a point of reference. Here might be the big difference maker. It's not actually in the points for, even though Oneida does have the lead there. It's that Oneida gave up 10 fewer points than the Red Rams did in the spring of 2021.
And not to mention, they were able to play 10 games in the spring season. JD only able to play 5, so it's definitely going to factor into the experience level and having a very young team.
Now, I will defend the Red Rams there. It was something they opted to do because they did not want to play teams that did not test for COVID regularly, hence the shortened schedule. And unfortunately, in a lot of the games that they did schedule, there were some positives which prevented games from being played. So it was a tough break for both the boys and girls teams in the spring.
Absolutely, and really a roller coaster ride of a season. But glad we're having basketball back in its full effect here.
As Kay Currow drives to the lane. And it was a good effort there from Sandroni, but it did go out of bounds. So LeBlanc now will take it inbounds for Oneida. Pass was tipped by Durkin, but it still hits an intended target. Lily Beam pulls up, but is unsuccessful. Taken away by Neal, who hands it off to Durkin, who is comfortable at that point guard position. Travel, though, called on Sandroni. Sandroni only played 11 minutes in the previous game, and perhaps this is why. It's that freshman inexperience.
Well, it's tough, and she's got to learn from all of these experiences, but you're right. As a freshman on varsity, especially at such a high level.
Well, here's Macy Durkin, who is a senior presence, but she misses the wide-open layup.
And sometimes those are the hardest ones to make.
Not if you're Lily Beam, though, who puts up Oneida's first 2 points. 4-2 now as we are already halfway through the first quarter. This game is breezing by. Pass goes off the hands. And the Red Rams turn the ball over.
And we mentioned this before. A lot of silly turnovers costing this Red Ram offense and slowing them down greatly.
That was something that really hurt them in the previous game against FM, which, of course, there's no shame in losing to a Class AA team. Same could be said for Oneida if they do give up this game, as they are, punching above their weight, so to speak. But the turnovers really were the difference maker for the Red Rams, and it's going to have to be something that they watch in today's game.
That's part of the reason you schedule these AA or single A class games. So you get a challenge, and you want to bring your best basketball. And when you play a team of this caliber, you've got to bring your best basketball.
Sandroni now with the pass over to Maddie McKinney. Here's a shot right on the line from Sindoni. And it is off the mark, though Sindoni gets her own rebound. Gives it over to Sandroni. Sandroni finds too much pressure in the lane, but look who does not. Maddie McKinney with 3.
A nice job there staying alive on the offensive board and keeping that possession going to get an open look for 3.
And that's the value of not making those turnovers, as you get more opportunities. There's a jump ball wrestled away by Maddie McKinney. Quite frankly, the Red Rams shooting percentage, at least in the first game, was not stellar. Their effective field goal percentage, which takes into consideration the fact that 3-pointers are harder than 2-pointers, was 30.9, which is not great, but that is workable as long as they can keep control of the ball.
Absolutely, and when you're playing the defense that they're playing today, you can afford to miss a couple of those shots, but obviously want to stay aggressive on the offensive side.
And Currow had to be aggressive to wrestle that ball away. Rainbow now controlling at the point. Rainbow thought she found LeBlanc, instead pass is interdicted by Sindoni. Pass over to McKinney. Bouncer over to Schnorr and up against the glass. That is Ava Sandroni, excuse me.
And what a first quarter she's having.
6 points already. 6 of the Red Rams' 9 points. You know, we were talking before the game about how there's a lot of great young talent waiting to be developed on this Red Rams team. Anaya Neal, Ava Sandroni. In a year or two, they're going to be really scary, but there's plenty for Oneida to be concerned about right now. And Oneida forced to call their first timeout.
And Jamesville-DeWitt, stingy defense, creating those offensive points in transition and doing a phenomenal job of moving without the ball and creating open looks for their teammates.
So the Red Rams are looking electric in this first quarter, currently leading 11-2. And it has been the defense that's been the difference maker so far.
Getting in those passing lanes and not creating a spot for Oneida to get the ball inside has generated a lot of transition points, and they've taken advantage.
Now, speaking of field goal percentage, for Oneida it's 46.4, which is not bad, though certainly not exactly where you want it to be. But the Red Rams have been so ferocious on defense that they haven't been able to give them a shot that hasn't been off balance yet.
Yeah, I don't even know how many shots they've put up, but
none of them involve planting their feet, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Just a good job and a good game plan by Coach Sweeney to come out in this first quarter and be aggressive and pesky on that defensive side.
And you know, we've talked about the players, but what pressure must be on Coach Kurt Sweeney, who is having to take over for one of the most legendary coaches in all of Section 3 in Rob Seitchen, one of the most successful coaches ever. And he's 2-4 so far in his tenure with JD, but there's got to be a lot riding on his shoulders.
Absolutely. Big shoes to fill. But, you know, had him actually as a modified football and track coach. He's awesome. He makes you want to compete for him. And, you know, he's doing a good job here getting this program back to where it needs to be.
First 2 points put up for Kay Curro. We're expecting more than that today. As the rebound is taken by Mallory Jocelyn. No, excuse me, that is Curro. 22-23, it's all the same when they're covered by hair. And Rainbow cannot connect there. Taken away by Schnorr. Zogby. Now pass out to Sindoni. Looking for a three just wide right. And rebounded by Jordan French. French had 6 rebounds in Oneida's first contest of the season. 30 seconds left in the first quarter. French sets her feet. Little too much on it, bounces off the rim and snatched up by Zogby.
And even when they're getting an open shot, the Rams are there contesting it and making sure that it's not coming easy.
And a timeout taken by Jamesville-DeWitt now. Now, when you have a lead like this, you're able to take these constructive timeouts to try to fix the little things that you might see.
And a little bit questionable taking it 20 seconds before the end of the first quarter, but understandable if you want to get a game plan drawn up in some play to run right before the end of the quarter.
Like we said, you know, there's time. You've got a big lead right now. It is 11-4, so you can afford to maybe rethink that and try to say, hey, you were over here. Maybe you should have been over here. It's privileges that come with winning. Isn't winning such a privilege?
Absolutely.
Man, let me tell you, being a Jets fan this season, I haven't seen too much of it.
No, you haven't seen much in
well, then again, you're a Texans fan.
Absolutely,
so.
Yeah, so neither of us having a lot to root for. It's a painful life.
It is, and then the MLB lockout now, too. You know,
hey, at least we got the Red Rams to cheer for.
We do have the Red Rams, of course, and we're also going to be bringing you Red Rams baseball in the spring season, and we're going to be really excited about that as well. As the timeout expires now. Red Ram possession. Sindoni thought about taking a quick look from afar, instead passes it out, double teamed. No one is covering Zogby, but it is just short of the basket, goes out, Oneida ball.
Like we said, that's definitely why Coach Sweeney took that timeout to get a play drawn up right before the end of the quarter. Was nice, got an open look, and sometimes you're not going to hit all of them.
And Sweeney is confused about what's going on with the referee real quick. Double checking something with head coach Katie Nessler of Oneida. Perhaps they were looking to see if the ball went out of bounds.
From what I could tell, that's what they're looking at.
They'll give it to JD. And Gabby Schnorr will be the one to inbound it.
Let's see if they can get one last shot up here before the end of the fourth quarter.
Zogby has her pass tipped, and Oneida will not get one off. But that is the end of the first quarter. The Red Rams leading 11-4 currently over Oneida. So after one quarter of play, Nick, what are you taking away from this game so far?
Oh, well, I'm really excited at the level of defense I'm seeing from these Red Rams. Being aggressive and closing off the passing lanes, not giving any good opportunities, and making Oneida work for their shots.
And speaking of work for shots, we have the privilege to introduce a new graphic today. Let's take a look at the Red Rams score report. So this is a heat map courtesy of Huddle. The darker red it is, the more accurate the Red Rams are shooting from that area of the paint. So interestingly, we can see that they're most accurate here, but also in this corner of the key for some reason.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of that probably comes from Anaya Neal in their first couple games. 10 points on the season, so doing a good job of pushing that the paint and getting good looks right at the basket.
And interestingly enough, you can see that the Red Rams have a lot more success on this side of the key from three than they do on this. I believe that around here is where they usually have Bella Sintoni and Macy Durkin playing, who are two of the better three-point shooters on the team.
Yeah, and I think we've seen all of their three-point attempts in that first quarter come from that left side of the arc. So obviously they feel comfortable there, and that's where they want to run their plays to.
So the second quarter about to begin. And JD with first possession, that's Victoria Payne, who I believe is the younger sister of Marcus Payne, who's off to Washington and Lee University.
And a nice dribble drive there, putting her defender to work and getting into the paint.
Marcus Payne was on the basketball team as well as the starting quarterback for the JD football team back when we had one.
And don't forget the older sister, Alex Payne, actually a nationally ranked hurdler here at Jamesville-DeWitt, now running at University of Albany.
Jump ball called there. And I always find it so fascinating. Payne was actually a running back until JD's starting quarterback broke his collarbone in the first game of the season, forced into it for the rest of his junior year, but he stepped up to the plate and turned out to be one of the better play callers that JD's had in the last few years.
Absolutely, and I was actually a part of that team 2 years ago, and Marcus put into a tough situation, especially on homecoming night, but did a great job. Such a hard worker and a great team leader, and someone you want to work for every day.
And you can only hope that a little bit is rubbed off onto his younger sister as well.
And I think so. After that first move we just saw from her, I think she's definitely got the genes.
And there's a lot of younger siblings of very successful JD players on this team. Paige Baker, younger sister of Sydney Baker, who is on this team. Sadie Withers, Marshall Withers, of course, the best three-point shooter that the Red Rams have had since Peyton Shumpert, probably. Gabby Schnorr. Shot clock violation, but the shot is good. Maya Rainbow with an arc for three.
Yeah, and time winding down, got to create something on the ball, and that's a nice shot from Rainbow.
That was one of the first opportunities the Red Rams really gave them to set their feet, and you see how important it is to be so tenacious on D. Layup rolls off, rebounded by Schnorr.
And that was a great contest from Withers there on that defensive side of the ball. In transition, and stopping him.
Now, Gabby Schnorr, as we mentioned, her older brother Gunther Schnorr was on the varsity boys team, and he was one of the most hard-playing and tenacious players on that squad as well.
Definitely, as we just said, you know, some of those genes rubbing off on the younger sister. So Red Rams in a good spot here for the next couple of years, especially with Kurt Sweeney at the helm, building a nice program.
Rainbow attempted to pass it to Kennedy Curro, the younger sister of Kay. Kennedy just an 8th grader here on varsity. And now Victoria Payne takes it across half court. Quick pass to Neal. Over to Withers from beyond the arc. Basket does not count. It was a travel for Anaya Neal.
Yeah, and her second travel call of the game today. Just got to get her feet set because she's in the right spot, in the right position to make a play.
She actually had 6 turnovers in the previous game against FM. But, you know, she is just a sophomore. And it's a matter of time and learning to set your feet. You know, she is 5'10", and especially when you have a growth spurt like that so early on in your high school career, you kind of got to learn how to work your body, if that makes sense. As there was a great block there from Victoria Payne. It's like you're not used to your body working that way. It says a shot clock violation for Oneida, their second one, although this time they're not going to get a shot off in time.
And that's just beautiful defense to watch there. Covering all sides of the basketball. Great contest there at the top of the key, shutting down shots and allowing nothing to get through.
So, Nick, you're about 6'3", right? Somewhere around there?
Yeah, 6'2", 6'3".
So you had that growth spurt somewhere towards the middle of your high school experience. It's kind of weird to adjust to it, isn't it?
It is, and actually, I grew the most probably in 8th grade. You know, I think I grew like maybe 5 or 6 inches in 1 year. So it's tough. You know, you get a lot of growing pains with it, especially. So it's all part of the process and just growing as an athlete.
Growing as a person and an athlete, and it's something that just takes some time to feel comfortable in your own shoes, quite literally. Is the first free throw attempt for Ava Sandroni is off the mark. That is her first she has ever taken on varsity.
You know, we were speaking of Anaya Neal. Actually, I'm in gym class with her, and you can just tell she's an athlete just from the different sports she's been playing. And so she's got all the potential in the world to be a great basketball player for this Red Ram organization.
I mean, she put up 10 points in her first game, as there's 7 points now in total for Ava Sandroni, responsible for half of the Red Rams scoring. Pass out to French. Can't find anything. Goes to Kennedy Curro. Curro double teamed. Sandroni bringing the pressure over to Lily Beam in the corner. Finds Rainbow instead. Rainbow being kept beyond the arc. Though we do know she can shoot threes. And there's another shot clock violation.
Back-to-back possessions with a shot clock violation. The Red Rams have created an immovable object on the defensive side of the ball.
That is 3 shot clock violations, though one they did get a shot off, but at least getting down to the very last second 3 times in 1 quarter. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Absolutely, and you got to give a testament to the game plan that the Red Rams had coming into this, and just absolutely shutting down the Oneida.
Rebound taken away by French. Durkin a little too close for comfort, though they're actually calling that a hold on Anaya Neal. So Oneida passes it in to Emma LeBlanc. .440 left on the clock in the first half of this contest. Curro, her 3-point shot is wild to the right, taken away by the Red Rams on the fast break. Sandroni pauses for a moment, sends it out to Payne. Payne will make her way towards the basket. No one is covering Maddie McKinney, and she makes them pay.
Oh, and that was great ball movement from the Red Rams there. Dribble drive, pump fake, finding the open shooter in the corner, looking like the San Antonio Spurs.
And Coach Sweeney not a fan of that call by the referee. And Victoria Payne comes off the court for a moment.
And a lot of that last play generated from the two underclassmen on this Jamesville-DeWitt team, Victoria Payne and Ava Sandroni, able to get into the lane and put defenders out of position.
And Curro is short on her shot. Pass to no one in particular, though it ends up in the hands of Jordan French. Over to Maya Rainbow. Rainbow might have a lane. Instead out to Curro from downtown. Short.
Every shot there is a hand in the face.
And now Miriam Zogby holds on to it. Over to Neal. Durkin takes one from long, and it is wide right. Red Rams can't keep that from going out of bounds. But it seems that as this game is going on, the Red Rams getting a little bit more comfortable in making these plays and passing the ball around, finding these opportunities. And there's 2 points for the Red Rams. There's Durkin, right? Macy Durkin with her first 2 of the day.
And what a play by her to close off that inbound pass and generate points even off of that. Such a rare thing you see in basketball, but the Red Rams doing it all today.
By the way, don't forget we have a live comment section here, and don't forget to chime in if you like what's going on in the game. Nick, you've got a couple of admirers in the comments right now. You got Matt Keeler and someone named Jay Jelly. Who I don't know who that could be.
Those are the boys right there from volleyball team. Matt Keeler actually playing later today at 4 o'clock in the same gym. The Red Rams taking on Saratoga in what's going to be an awesome matchup. Can't wait to watch that one.
Should be a fun one. As there's a timeout now called by Oneida. It is 19-7, and Oneida just has not been able to get anything going for the last few points. Or for the past quarter or so, really.
Yeah, this entire second quarter has been absolute locks on the defensive side of the ball for the Red Rams. And it has been fun to watch.
Red Rams have been throwing up more roadblocks than a highway under construction right now, as they are attempting to find the road to victory. And Oneida with the ball. And a quick foul drawn. Red Ram ball. We thank you so much for joining us here live on JDTV. Once again, Sam Gelfand and Nick Dekaney here. So there's 3 minutes left in the first half. Durkin well out beyond the arc to McKinney, who loses control, taken away by Rainbow. There was an opportunity, but they could not take advantage of it. Now Rainbow driving all the way across the court herself. And there is a push called. So Rainbow will go to the line. She is 5 for 6 this season.
Yeah, and only a freshman dropped 19 points in the first game.
Impressive that the Red Rams have held her to 3 so far.
Absolutely. Something we haven't even talked about yet today.
Make that 4. The players to watch for Oneida are, without question, Rainbow and Kay Curro. She is unsuccessful with the second free throw, though. But just imagine your first game on varsity dropping 19 points. That's got to set some expectations for the rest of your career.
Absolutely.
You love to get that kind of game, but then you realize what comes with it, the pressure, the responsibility.
I was going to say, it comes at a price, you know. Can't get too excited that in your first game you score 19 points. You know, it's not going to come that easy every night, but obviously a testament to a great performance.
Might have to call that Mike White syndrome soon.
Yeah, I remember you were so excited after that first game.
I am still excited. He's still got it.
You think so?
Well, yeah, he faced the #1 defense in the NFL against the Buffalo Bills. It's natural that you're not going to look as good as you had in the last 2 games.
Fair enough, but
He impressed me enough as Kennedy Currow misses her first free throw. But that's the NFL, and this is Jamesville-DeWitt.
And we're here to watch basketball, not football.
That's true. Football season wrapped up yesterday, actually, with the state championships inside the Dome. Our brothers across the street, the Christian Brothers Academy, actually, taking the Class A state championship.
Yeah, and what a run they had.
It was incredible. They were 3-3 in the regular season, a 500 win percentage, put on a run in the playoffs, and made it to winning the state championship. It's a real Cinderella story. And Rainbow wide left. That will be an Oneida ball off the hands of Maddie McKinney. Also, you see that Oneida in the bonus right now. Hence these free throws we're seeing all of a sudden. Durkin, good job getting that ball away. Back to Zogby. 2 minutes left in the first half. Zogby shot off the mark. Out to McKinney. Now it's Durkin finding a way around and putting up two. Great body control.
But you know, that play does not happen without Anaya Neal being aggressive on the offensive boards, staying with it and creating more passes to get an open shooter.
So LeBlanc now with the literal handoff to Jordan French. Attempted to go back to LeBlanc, and Durkin had none of that. And Gabby Schnorr tried to get it to Neal, but instead she passed it to nobody in particular, and there's another turnover.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication there on the transition. Tough when you're moving full speed to get an accurate pass.
But these are the kinds of things that also happen when it's only your second game of the season. You need time to develop the chemistry and get to know your teammates a little bit more, where they're going to be.
Absolutely, but they're definitely doing that in this game. And maybe kind of finding their identity, especially on that defensive side.
Against a very good Class B team as well. Rainbow in the corner. Has to go out to Currow from long. Two bouncer back onto the wood. Durkin with a desperation toss snapped up by Schnorr. One person there off the glass. No, and Neal with a rebound draws the foul.
And what a hustle play by Macy Durkin. Staying aggressive, jumping out of bounds, throwing it all the way back in to create that transition.
And now Anaya Neal goes to the charity stripe. She is 3 for 6 this season from there. And she hits her first. That's also her first point of the game. Also, got to say, fresh kicks.
Absolutely.
And she is 1 for 2. 1 minute remaining now in the second quarter. Currow plants and shoots, and it is a little short. LeBlanc taken away by Durkin, but they say it's a push. Red Rams bench not happy with that call.
Yeah, you can see Coach Sweeney trying to argue his way with the ref, but not going to budge.
As Oneida goes to the stripe, you want to give a quick shout out to CNY Stream, who's now helping us put these broadcasts together. Looking forward to working with them in the future. Of course, Ian Nichols here on camera, courtesy of our new friends at CNY Stream. I think we can call them that now.
Absolutely. It makes our job a lot easier.
And makes your viewing experience at home much more pleasurable as well. LeBlanc's first free throw was off target, but she sinks the second for her first point of the day. Durkin off the hands of Miriam Zogby. A little bit too much power on that pass.
Yeah, and it almost looked like Zogby was already looking forward ahead towards a play on offense, so gotta catch the ball before you can generate anything.
Can't put the cart before the horse. Currow passes it in to Jordan French. 35 seconds remaining. French to LeBlanc. Pass to Curro. Under heavy coverage inside, and she is called for a travel. Oneida has been hinging on Curro for their offensive success, but she's been held to just 2 points so far.
Yeah, and a lot of that is coming from that paint defensive side on the Red Rams. Moving their feet and not jumping too early to cause any fouls.
Coming into the second half, Oneida might be thinking maybe we need to find a new focal point of the offense, at least for the time being, as there's 5 seconds remaining. Oneida takes it back, 2 seconds. Can Curro put one up? She tries on the run, it's short. And that is the end of the first half. The Red Rams are hoping to run away with this one against Oneida, 22-9, putting up an impressive performance. Something on offense, but a ton on defense.
Absolutely, and if they continue to play the way they've been playing, this game is going to be all theirs. But Oneida not going to go away easy. Got some really great scores and got to continue the pressure here for the Red Rams.
We'll see if they're able to do so in the second half. We'll be back in 10 minutes with the start of quarter number 3. My name's Sam Gelfand, voice of the Red Rams, alongside Nick Dekaney. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back with the second half in 10 minutes. See you then. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the start of the second half here on JDTV. Sam Gelfand and Nick Dekaney, as Oneida is currently trailing the Red Rams 22-9 in what has been a very fun contest so far.
And what a performance from the Red Rams, especially on that defensive side of the ball. In the first half, they contested every single shot, no open looks, and nothing easy for Oneida.
So Oneida has to hope that they can turn this around now. They were depending so much on Kay Currow, number 22 down there, but she has only been held to 2 points so far in this contest.
Yeah, and I think if they want to get something going, they gotta have to move the ball. Get it around to your shooters, and it cannot always be the same person looking to make the shots.
But JD on offense right now, that's Victoria Payne, who drives towards the net and will get the and one. New career high, 4 points for her today.
And that's how you start a second half. High energy play that gets your bench going and gets the fans riled up.
So Payne now to the stripe for the and one. And it rattles off. And a jump ball called in quick fashion as Anaya Neal went aggressively for that ball.
We've seen it time and time again today. On the offensive glass, the Rams crashing every time and getting second chance possessions.
Red Rams crashing more than my sister with her first car.
That's deep. That hurts.
It's all right. She's not watching. Pass swung out to French from long, wide left. Rebounded by the Red Rams. A tussle for it, and it's a jump ball.
But if you're Oneida, those are the kind of looks you're going to want, and you got to hit those at some point in this game if you want to get back in.
So Maddie McKinney will take it in for the Red Rams now. Over to Ava Sandroni, who has been the standout so far. And taken away once again, this time by Maya Rainbow. Rainbow trying to go almost the full force of the court, double teamed, has to dump it out to Emma LeBlanc. Will find Lily Beam underneath the net. Passed over to Jordan French, out to Currow from beyond the arc, sinks it.
And that is what Oneida needs if they want to claw their way back in this one. Converting on the open shots and getting some momentum.
Sandroni to McKinney. McKinney out to Payne. Payne finds a lane. Passes to Neal, who got that a little bit late but found it in time. Travel. Neal coming onto the bench. She's got so much potential, but she just needs to learn how to set her feet.
And it's tough, especially as a younger player on a varsity team. You can see Coach Sweeney talking to her right now. It's tough, especially to remain mentally strong as you rack up a lot of turnovers. So it's a learning process, and especially as you grow older as an athlete, you learn to mature and bounce back from those kind of things.
Rainbow backs off. Out to Currow, long three, no. Currow gets her own rebound. Rainbow, long two this time, rattles off. And Payne will grab the board. Off the hand of Durkin, keeps it from going out. Durkin, hand off to Payne. Payne to McKinney from the corner, and it's short. Rebounded by Currow. Currow this time with a little bit more success as she got a little bit closer. She now has 7 points, 5 of those coming in the second half.
Great job there by Currow on the 2-on-1 fast break. And that's what Oneida needs. And slowly but surely, they're chipping their way back in.
Durkin, very short, kept in bounds by Zogby, but it goes Oneida's way. Sometimes halftime is a blessing if you're a coach, and clearly it is doing wonders for Oneida, who have just doubled their point total effectively in 3 minutes.
Yeah. They've got it going here on the offensive side. As Coach Sweeney, I believe, takes a timeout. He's going to talk things over with his girls.
That is a full timeout taken by the Red Rams. And now that we're talking about Kay Currow, why don't we take a little look at a little bit more about her. Kaylin Currow, her first name, prefers to go by Kay. This is her 5th season on varsity. She was an 8th grade call-up, and she's been here since 2018. She's averaged 11.5 points per game over her entire career, getting up to 25 points a game at her peak.
That's incredible for a 5-year player to average 11.5 points in all seasons over her entire career.
Over her entire career, that's right. She has about 600 points in her entire career. Also an undefeated tennis player. She was the Mohawk Valley Softball Player of the Year, and she is a softball commit to Binghamton University. So as good as she is on the court right now, she is even better on the diamond.
And almost all the time, the best athletes are the multi-sport athletes that can play anything and are successful in many different sports.
Always with the Red Rams, we think back to Johnny Kibe as our go-to example, who just headed off to Yale.
Many, especially from JD.
The number 52 lacrosse prospect in the entire nation last year.
They can just do it all.
So now Maya Rainbow controlling for Oneida. Rainbow round the horn. Got a good look, but could not connect. And a double dribble. So there's a crucial turnover heading the Red Rams' way. Durkin at point, slowing things down just a little bit. Over to Payne at the top of the key. Payne, McKinney, Zogby, and she hit McKinney in the numbers. Turns it over to Lily Beam. Jordan French now double teamed in the corner. And looks like that will go the Red Rams' way.
And that's tough for the Red Rams. They had the play going, had an open drive to the basket. McKinney just not quite on the same page as Zogby. And again, that just comes with it being the second game of the season. A lot of things in the kinks to work out.
So Sandroni will pass that into Durkin. A little under halfway through the third quarter. Sandroni finds a wide open lane to the basket. 9 points now for the freshman. Rainbow is struggling here. The Red Rams actually playing man-to-man defense, which you don't see too often at this level of play.
And obviously it's been working for them today, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Though looks like Maya Rainbow found a crack, up to 6 points now. Sandroni got 3 people, so she dumps it out to Durkin, to Payne. Feet on the line, it is short. McKinney resets to Durkin. Durkin charging in, loses control of the ball. On the ground, jump ball.
And it's those gritty hustle plays that have won it today for the Red Rams. Staying active on all sides of the ball and giving their team another chance.
Don't forget to chime in the live comment section we have here on JDTV. Let us know what you think about this game, and if we like what you say, we might even read it out on the air. Some action now for Leah Cesarek. We haven't seen much from her today. But that's a pretty blatant push. Surprised nothing got called. Curro now. Pass over to Rainbow. To Curro. And a hold is called against Payne. Oneida now inbounds it right into JD's waiting arms. And Sandroni crossover dribble. And Withers cannot connect. Looks like Sadie shares the propensity of her older brother for three-pointers. Though she'll have a little bit of time to work out how to hit him. She is a freshman. McKinney to Withers. Durkin out to Withers. Sandroni McKinney bounce pass to Durkin. They're making Oneida crowd the key. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Three-pointer off the mark and taken away by Kennedy Currow.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of the Red Ram offense today come off of that dribble drive kick out strategy, and it's worked really well for them today and given them a lot of open looks that we saw there from McKinney.
Oneida ball. Red Rams tried to get their hands on it, pushed it out of bounds accidentally. So LeBlanc will take it in for Oneida. Pass into Rainbow. In heavy coverage. And she's now up to 8. The freshman leading this team in points. Neal sets beyond the arc. Bounces off, and at least the foul is drawn by Gabby Schnorr. So she will go to the line. Schnorr, the junior, this is her first season on varsity. Does not connect with her first. But she makes her second. And you know, it is already such a different game as we're about 3/4, 2/3 of the way through the third quarter. It was 22-9 at the half, and now it's 27-18.
Yeah, and it seems that Oneida has started to find a groove, especially on the offensive side, and found a little bit of the cracks in the JD defense, but haven't put enough pressure on them yet to really make the Red Rams work.
We told you at the top this would not be an easy contest for the Red Rams, even though Oneida is a Class B team. Jump ball.
Like a shot like this, you can zoom in so you don't get the railing.
But it certainly has been a physical one up to this point, and you can expect much more of that as the time winds down.
So Sadie Withers will pass it in for the Red Rams. Found Sindoni, who gets a foul. And now Bella Sindoni will go to the line. She averaged 3.4 points per game in the spring, though she has not scored a point yet this season.
Yeah, and does a lot of the dirty work here for the Red Rams, playing great defense, always hustling on the floor. You see her facilitating, so doesn't always show up on the box score, but you know she's making impact on the game.
And there's her first point of the season with a high arc. Bit of a moonshot from the free throw line. Whatever works. Now Rainbow, who has really been settling in, benefits from the pick. Only finds Sindoni next to the basket and puts up 2. She's broken into double digits. And Withers just a little shy. Push called on Neal. And she's got to be worried about fouling out at this point.
Yeah, especially being one of the front court players in that paint most of the time. You got to play physical defense, but at the same time, you can't be too aggressive and get racked up in those foul trouble.
Kicked out to Currow. Rattles off. Rainbow with a rebound. Another toss-up and another jump ball.
Man, and it's hard to tell who wants it more today. A lot of these loose balls, 50-50 balls, just everybody's scrapping towards it and everybody's hustling.
It's great to see some good hard-fought basketball. Right now, Matt Keeler asking who is the leading scorer right now for Jamesville-DeWitt. We can tell you that at least in this game, it is Ava Sandroni who currently has 9.
Yeah, and what a performance from the freshman. You can just tell she has a great change of direction and great speed on the court. Allows her to get to drive and really penetrate a lot of the defense.
First free throw connects for Maya Rainbow. And Rainbow is the leading scorer for Oneida right now. That's her 11th point of the day.
So the 2 freshmen putting on a show for us.
Yeah, it's a freshman showcase here. And a toilet bowl's out. So Rainbow 2 for 4 on the day. And really, there is nothing better than knowing that the future is bright. As so many freshmen balling out today, though Sindoni misses her shot. And there's another jump. Yeah, you were talking about hustle. Sindoni would not let go of that ball.
It seems like it's almost every possession we're seeing something like that. So you know these players are going to be physically worn after this one.
Yeah, everyone on these 2 teams are like dogs playing tug of war with chew toys, just like will not let go. You ever have a dog who had like a rope and you could lift them up into the air with it and they just would not let go?
Yeah, they're tenacious.
And Withers tries twice, doesn't work. Oneida ball. 10 seconds left in the third quarter. Aiden Bates chiming in the comment section now, too. Looks like the entire volleyball team is coming out to play.
Gotta love the boys. Some great supporters of JDTV, always tuning into our productions.
We appreciate each and every one of you who tunes into JDTV all season long. Our next broadcast actually won't be for about 2 weeks. It'll be Tuesday the 14th as the girls host Liverpool. That should be a great matchup. Withers shot on the run, and that is the end of the third quarter. Only 1 is left. As the Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams currently lead over Oneida 28-21, but this is a whole new ball game compared to where it was going into halftime.
Yeah, Oneida not done yet and starting to find a groove offensively. Finding ways to get inside and get open looks has been the difference in the second half so far.
Now, we've talked so much, obviously, about this game, but what about prior games? Well, let's take a look at the series history. This is the 5th time that these 2 teams have ever met each other. JD has won every single one, and every single one of them has been held in this very gym right here. The last time that they faced each other was February 2nd, 2015. So this is the first matchup in about 6 years between these 2 contests. JD took that one 49-29, and unless JD puts up 20 in the fourth quarter and holds Oneida to just 8 more, I don't think we're going to equal that score. But the average score between these 2 teams is 53-28 in the 4 previous contests.
Interesting that all 5 games have actually been played in this gym, none at Oneida, so JD having a home court advantage in every single game.
And you have to wonder how much that's played into effect in previous years and certainly right now. If that could account for any of their successes. Mr. Goodson, our athletic director, turning up the volume and continually trying to get us a copyright strike. So we kind of just have to talk over this because if YouTube finds out that we're playing licensed music inside of the gym, then we are going to we're going to have the stream taken down. It's happened before. There we go. Keeps you on your toes, though, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It happened to us during the softball playoffs last year. Too much walk-up music. We got a global takedown request. You know what did it, actually, was someone had the Hannah Montana theme song as their walk-up.
Classic.
You do not anger the mouse.
And again, another play that ends up with bodies on the ground. almost every possession we've seen, somebody is diving on the floor to get a loose ball.
At this point, you should start wondering if the court should be padded.
Right? Or they got to wear shin guards or something, knee pads.
Knee pads might help. You know, I never understood why hockey goalies just like they don't wear their knee pads on the rest of their body, you know? Just make themselves like a cube. Wish we got to do some hockey this year. Curro sets up wide left. Save from going out by McKinney, though. If it went out, it still would have been a Red Rams possession, but you like to see the hustle. Zogby pulls up at the free throw line. Rebounded by Cindrone. Neal. It seems that actually there's going to be a talking to with Victoria Payne. We're going to see why. No foul, it seems. I think she was gesturing towards her eye. Maybe she lost a contact or something.
Yeah, something along those lines, and I hope not, because that would make this game a whole lot harder for her.
Yeah, I saw the referee gesturing towards his eye. It looks like maybe there was something in her eye. He was just worried about whether or not they needed to stop play, if she needed help. So it was just good heads-up refereeing, really, at the end of the day. As Neal, bounce pass out. Now that's Zogby, taken away by Rainbow. Foot race between her and Cindrone. Rainbow puts up the layup, no good. And the Red Rams take it away, bodies back on the ground. McKinney grabs it, and that is a timeout called by JD. Full timeout, perhaps wisely.
Yeah, and kind of a strategic timeout there from Coach Sweeney. Got possession on the floor. Don't want to end up or risk losing the ball, so just call a timeout and keep possession, talk things over.
But now we also have to consider the possible drawback of that is the Red Rams now only have one timeout left. Now, they have a 7-point lead right now, but if we get down to those final seconds and the Red Rams hold a very narrow lead or perhaps are just narrowly behind, they only have one timeout to work with.
Yeah, so he's got to play it smart and understand when to use it and when's the best time.
Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away. And neither team is walking away from this one. They have been fighting. I think fighting is the right word. They've been scratching and clawing for this contest.
Yeah, and since the second half, we've seen a completely new Oneida team, one that's revamped and ready to go and giving JD a run for their money.
Okay, we got to keep talking again because here comes the music. Okay, let's not get copyright struck. How's your weekend been going, Nick? Actually, that's not a great question because we just started the weekend, so we'll have to think of something else to kill this time and this music.
You asked me. We got some great basketball here. 2 games today, both at the home gym. You get to support my friends and my teammates. That's what it's all about.
That's true, and so many members of your teammates as well in volleyball joining us in the comments section, and don't forget that you can too at home. And now Cindrone passes over to Schnorr. Schnorr to Cindrone, across to Payne. Payne over to Cindrone. Schnorr, Cindrone. Payne. They're having trouble penetrating this 3-2 defense. 3 seconds left, and it is put up successfully by Bella Cindrone.
And that is smooth ball movement from the Red Rams.
Way to use all 30 seconds of the shot clock.
And way to use all 5 players on the court.
Reaching in, called on Maddie McKinney, the senior guard. McKinney, continuous improvement. You know, she averaged 1.5 points in the spring, 4 points in the last game, 6 points in this one. It's the kind of upward momentum that you love to see if you're someone like Coach Sweeney.
And it's those type of players that step up and fill those roles that you lost from the last season that allow you to be just as competitive.
Curro trying to drive forward. Draws a foul. The Red Rams seem to have abandoned the man-to-man and went back to the zone defense. Kay Curro 4 for 8 from the stripe this season. We'll see how that changes. Misses her first.
Yeah, and these free throws now more important than ever. You know, you look at the clock, 6 minutes left, a lot of time, but down 9 points in a very defensive battle, every point is going to matter, especially down the stretch here. So nice that she converted on at least one of those two.
8 points now today for Kay Currow, the Binghamton commit. And taken away by Rainbow, who has been tenacious on defense. Fouls drawn by Rainbow, and now she gets to go back to the stripe.
Good play to pickpocket there by Rainbow, but again, good hustle from the Red Rams to get back and get the foul and not give an easy shot. Make them work for their points is the name of the game in this fourth quarter.
And boy, have both teams been working for it. Rainbow is unsuccessful in her first. 5 for 6 in her first game, and now she's 2 for 5 in this one. And neither one connects. That's a big sigh of relief for the Red Rams as Payne over to McKinney, puts up a floater and sinks it. Ten-point lead now for the Red Rams. Currow floats along the outside, tries to get her own rebound, and Rainbow can't make anything either. Payne trying to pull it away. Jump ball is bound to be called. Instead, a timeout called by Oneida.
It's almost the same thing, just roles reversed there, as you saw in the last quarter.
So a timeout now for Oneida as things are really heating up here in the JD Gym. Or as we started to call it during basketball season, the Cacophonous Cottage.
And I love that name.
It's the smaller version of the Loud House.
Absolutely. But super high ceiling in here, and all the sound gets transferred and echoes from side to side.
Of course, we are on the second floor of this gym right now. There's a track rimming the upper floor of the gym here. And there's no soundproofing on the rafters, which is why it just gets so loud in here. There's a little bit of physics knowledge for you guys is soft surfaces absorb sound. So when you have hard surfaces like wood and concrete all across this gym with no carpet or soundproofing anywhere, the sound just bounces around and gets louder and louder.
Professor Gelfand dropping some knowledge.
I'm not that old. I'm getting there. It's weird being in class and the TAs are younger than me.
Yeah.
Couple of Red Rams knocked down to the ground. Currow tries to hit Rainbow and instead snatched out of the air, intercepted by Ava Sandroni.
Full OBJ on that steal with the one hand.
I was going to call her Darrell Rivas.
That too.
And Payne is called for a travel. Great steal, though.
That was phenomenal.
Using all of her 5'7" reach.
And sometimes those come a lot faster than you're expecting. I think that's what happened there, but great reaction time.
Reaction time's really not something you can teach. It's just kind of innate, honed by practice. French. Oneida ball as Sandroni got a little too excited. Jordan French, by the way, has been on the court for most of this game. She hasn't scored yet. See if we just inflicted the announcer's curse, but something notable at least is French sets and blocked by Victoria Payne. No thank you. And Sandroni puts up 2 off the drive.
Defense into offense this entire game for the Red Rams. Tough play there from Victoria Payne.
Victoria Payne said, "Not in my house," and then Ava Sandroni took it home. And jump
again,
ball.
Very often we've seen the underclassmen connection on this JD team. The future is bright.
It is extremely bright. The Red Rams currently fielding 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, 5 juniors, and 3 seniors. So it's a young team. Although Oneida is similarly young as well. Don't have the exact numbers on them, but they have about the same makeup, plus 1 8th grader. Confusion as to who the ball goes to. It is a Red Ram ball, which will be inbounded by Gabby Schnorr. Schnorr sends it into Sandroni. Bounce pass to Payne. Sandroni. Payne comes back, sets up, shoots. It is not just short, but goes out of bounds. 3:28 left in this game. Red Rams lead by 12.
Yeah, and they've got to continue to be aggressive defensively and force long possessions. We've seen that a lot. 3 or 4 shot clock violations for Oneida, so they continue to do that. Not many possessions left for Oneida to get back in this.
All of those shot clock violations, though, as there's a collision, were forced during the second quarter, or the third quarter, excuse me. One of the two. I don't know. It's a long game. I think it was the third quarter, yeah. So we'll see if that changes. They've all been concentrated around the same time because Oneida seems to have kind of figured out how to get around that now.
But still, they're having to work for their possessions. And you can see, they clawed back, a 7-point game, but JD kind of took back in control, now up 12, so.
There was some sort of confusion, and Oneida tried to take an impromptu timeout. You take it where you can get it. Nothing's going on. Might as well talk things over.
Yeah.
Oneida back into the bonus.
And really need these free throws here.
And Curro makes her first. And the Red Rams will take their final timeout.
And in between free throws.
Jimmy Wickham says sup.
Jimmy.
Yet another member of the JD Boys volleyball team.
And a lot of them actually playing later today.
That's true.
On that basketball team.
There is a lot of crossover between the volleyball team and the basketball team. I guess you need the hops for both.
Exactly. We just have athletes here at JD, so why not do everything?
Exactly. Why not take advantage of some of that innate athleticism? And you know what it's also great to have is the cheerleaders are back. Something that we've been missing we didn't really have them in the fall. They're here now, adding so much to these games.
And really a staple to the JD sports community. There's one chant everybody knows by heart. And even at the soccer games this fall, when the cheerleaders weren't there, we'd break it out, and it gets the fans riled up, and it's a great energy booster.
Of course, even the flock is out in force today. Can't see them because they're sitting on camera side, but JD always has such great attendance no matter what time or day the game is here.
We have some great fans at this school, and we're always very supportive of each other, so it's our job, and, especially if you play a sport, you understand how important it is to show up for another team.
Yeah, we did not get that back at my school, let me tell you. The Florida fans, man, just...
They're ruthless, huh?
I wouldn't say ruthless as much as apathetic, to be honest. I kid you not, I once called a baseball game that ended up as a no-hitter, and the crowd politely clapped at the end.
What?
True story.
It's a standing ovation. What do you mean?
Yeah, fans they just don't get excited in Florida. You play to silence for the most part. I don't know about North Florida, but I'm talking about South Florida, my home territory.
Why don't you ever root for any of the Florida teams? They're a lot better than the Jets, Well,
because I was born into it. I was born in New York City, and my parents were Jets and Mets fans, and in something like that, you can't switch. You're in it too deep. Becomes a part of you. Trust me, if
you embrace the suck,
If I could switch teams, I would, but
yeah.
I can't. I'm. It's too late now.
Not sure what's going on here. I don't think I've ever seen a timeout come in between free throws like that.
You see it sometimes late in games, kind of like trying to ice the kicker, but usually not with 3 minutes left.
Yeah, especially up 11. If Oneida goes on a run here, you have no timeout left, so.
Well, it shows the confidence that Coach Sweeney has in his team.
Absolutely.
So now the second free throw. Actually, they've swapped out free throw takers, and now it's going to be Kennedy Currow rather than her sister, Kay Currow.
They obviously swapped him out for a reason, but she's got to hit the free throws right now.
She is 0 for 4 today.
And those are the difference, really, team-wise, from being down 11.
Make that 0 for 5. Interesting choice to have Kennedy sub in for Kay, who is 2 for 3 from the stripe. And Kay is still out there currently guarding Sindoni, so not quite sure why. As a hold is called, but you know what? They're the coaches and we're not, so you have to imagine they have a good reason for it. Red Rams trying to inbound. It has to be a long one. And Durkin recovers. Handoff to McKinney. Back to Durkin. Benefits from the pick by Neal. Neal now sets up for a long three, and it is just short. You know, we were thinking about why all 5 games between JD and Oneida were full timeout taken by Oneida, by the way. All of these games were held at JD. Oneida is a good bit of a drive, to be honest.
Yeah, and quite a commute to come up on a Saturday morning, if anything.
So while we got this moment, why don't we talk about what day it is real quick? It is National Cookie Day today.
I could take some cookies right now. I'm really
Do you have
hungry.
a favorite? Favorite type of cookie?
Favorite? Ooh. You know, okay.
Okay.
As a kid,
all right,
I always slept on the oatmeal raisin cookies. I didn't think they were as good because I love chocolate chips, right? And I always was like, who wants to eat raisins with a cookie? But recently, in the last couple of years, I can't lie, I've kind of been persuaded to the oatmeal raisin side.
You know, I'm kind of surprised, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm a black and white cookie kind of guy.
Really? Okay.
I'm a big black and white cookie fan. You know, there's kind of a thing. Which side do you eat first? I like the vanilla more, so I eat the chocolate first so I can save the vanilla for later.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a staple of the JD lunches. We got the Half Moon cookies. Everybody's got them at lunch.
Love a good black and white cookie. It's also National Sock Day. I'm not sure that you need to raise awareness for socks, but I suppose if you're a sandal wearer, maybe you weren't aware that they're a thing quite as much. It's also Wear Brown Shoes Day and International Cheetah Day, a conservation effort.
You learn something new every time you tune into a JD TV broadcast.
That's what we aim for. Just over 2 minutes left.
And a hard tumble there.
And that's Kay Currow, their prize player. Well, actually, you notice her sister tried to help her up, and she kind of like pushed her off. She was like, I got to be able to do this by myself. It's a point of pride for some players.
Could be frustration also mounting as this game progresses, you know.
And now Kay is going to take the first free throw. And whiffs.
And the free throws have been killing Oneida in this one.
If you don't hit your free throws, what are you going to hit?
Exactly. These are supposed to be free.
Hence the name.
Exactly, yeah. Free, easy shots in the game. So if you can't convert on these, how can you expect to win the game?
And who would have thought that the Red Rams could benefit from a little bit of hack-a-shack here? The Rainbow benefits from that pick. And a block by Schnorr. Bet you didn't expect a hack-a-shack reference here today.
No, I did not.
For those of you unfamiliar, by the way, it looks like Sandroni just fouled out.
Really?
That's her 5th. So Ava Sandroni finishes her day with 11 points. The #1 point scorer on JD today. But they're going to have to do without her for the final 2 minutes. That's foul number 5, and Coach Sweeney is currently unhappy with that.
Yeah, now Coach Nessler having a word with the ref.
And by the way, they've subbed out the Curros again at the free throw line.
You're talking about Hackashack. You know, at this point in the game might not be a bad idea. I mean, they haven't converted one in the last 2 or 3 attempts to the line, so.
Sweeney trying to benefit from a timeout while this discussion with the referees was going on, and no one's quite sure how long anything's going to take. If you're unfamiliar, by the way, at home, Hackashack was a strategy employed because Shaquille O'Neal had a career of about, what, a 40 free throw percentage, a little lower than that?
Definitely under 50%.
Definitely under 50%, so teams would foul him later into the game to get the clock to stop and not see the score raise too much because he was not hitting them. As Curro did not hit that one either, and she's 0 for 6.
But as a team, you cannot be under 50%. Really, as a team, you want to be somewhere near 75, 80%.
0 for 7 for Kennedy Curro, and actually, you want to see it coming into this game, though we don't have it for updated for this game specifically. Apparently, JD had one more timeout, which they just took. But the free throw percentage coming into this contest, 55.6 for Oneida, 40 for JD, although those numbers have certainly shifted as time has gone on.
Yeah, and JD really hasn't taken a whole lot of trips to the line, but
also, I believe if JD had one extra timeout, I think that means that Oneida has none as well.
I would believe so.
So let's just let's fix that real quick. As you see your score right now, 34-23. Red Rams leading by 11.
Yeah, and if you're JD right now, you got to be feeling good because you've seen the opposing team miss free throw after free throw, so how can you expect them really to hit any of the other shots? And they're continuing to play solid defense, make them work for their points, and we got 2 minutes left to close this thing out.
And the Red Rams defense has been so aggressive throughout this game, and it's been the difference maker. I mean, how many times, regardless of opponent, can you say, yeah, with 2 minutes left, we've held them to under 25?
Yeah.
The
and
Red
it's those
Ram-
kind of games where you can afford to put up 34 points. If you can hold them to such a little amount, you don't need that high demand of scoring.
The Red Rams for years have held on to the idea that defense is the key to winning, and the strategy has been continued into the fall 2021-22 season as the Red Rams now take possession, and there's a full court press employed by Oneida. And the passing will take care of that.
And a smart play by Macy Durkin to go back outside and run some more clock down. Don't rush it too much in these positions.
Red Rams have 9 seconds left on the shot clock, and they can afford to take them, but the pass is taken away by Jordan French. Dev Patel saying hi in the comments.
Dev, we got the whole team in the comments.
The whole team is listening. It's nice to see. Minute and a half left. Shot taken by Curro. And Kay Curro breaks double digits now. She's up to 11. Bella Sindoni, one person there. She is fouled. Sindoni has not taken a free throw this season. She made one all of last season, so we'll see how. Actually, I take that back. She took the 2 today. She's 1 for 2. I'm reading the wrong part of my spotting board. Well, she's 1 for 3 now.
But JD has done a pretty good job against the full court press so far, and that's going to be really important this last minute and a half. If as long as they keep the ball on their side and don't turn it over, they should have this one, but that's why we play the game.
And it seems Sindoni's foot was over the line, and that's an Oneida possession. So Sindoni 1 for 4 today.
You can hear Coach Sweeney yelling from up here, no fouls for the Red Rams.
if they get close to a shot, you might have to let them take it like that. But that's good news for Kay Currow, who's up to 13.
And they've got to be smart here with the ball. Cannot afford a silly turnover.
They had a scare right there. Off the hands, Durkin wrestling it away, jump ball. JD ball. It's getting tense.
Yeah, and the lead right now, improbable to come back, but not impossible. So they've got to continue to hold on to the ball, and you can expect an Oneida foul if they get it.
Not impossible. 34-27 is workable with 49 seconds. They put a little bit extra time on the clock, it seems. It's 44.1. And Oneida takes their final timeout. So as there's 40 seconds left now and neither team has any timeouts remaining, what do you think has been the story of the day?
Oh, it's been the Red Ram defense for sure. Tenacious, pesky, and stingy defense, if I had to categorize it. Been closing off every passing lane. Almost every shot has been contested, hand in the face the entire game, and made it really difficult for Oneida to get any open looks at the basket.
Jamesville-DeWitt's defense has been dominant in this contest, although Oneida has figured out the cracks and how to break through in the second half, and they've made it a much closer game than it was in the first half.
But at the same time, JD hasn't folded under that pressure of the give from Oneida, and they've been able to stay strong, especially in that last, throughout this fourth quarter, and they've been able to retain that lead.
Of course, you'd know all this if you've been joining us for the entire game, as you have been, of course. Now, we appreciate every single one of you tuning in here live on JD TV. As Currow now
need a
controls.
Quick shot up if you're Oneida.
Rainbow holding on to it. McKenney doing her best to get the ball away without drawing the foul. They give Currow a wide open look, and she is wide to the right.
And that is everything you don't want for Oneida. Long possession ends with no basket made. Now you have 30 seconds left, down 7.
Long pass out to Durkin, who's immediately fouled. And Oneida has given possession back to the Red Rams. It's McKenney who will inbound it.
Yeah, and that last possession for Oneida really hurt them there.
And that was something of ours that just fell into the trash. There we go. All our possessions are back where they're supposed to be, not in the trash. And another foul called.
Yeah, and I think the last Oneida possessions really what did it to them. If they had gotten a 3 there, any kind of points, would have been a 5 or a 4-point game. Could foul and still have time to really come back, but down 7 here with 20 seconds.
Not looking probable as Miriam Zogby will head to the stripe for the first time today or this season and misses her first. And so this could come down to that slow and agonizing end now. Both teams are in the bonus. Zogby with her first points today. Where are they getting these timeouts from? They only have 5.
Not quite sure.
All right, well, we're in another timeout. Unless the girls' game lets you reset them at halftime, I'm not sure. Okay, we got to talk over Cotton Eye Joe because this is a popular one. This will get our stream taken down.
This one can't get aired, you know.
This one cannot make air. Yeah, you're completely right.
But I've been really excited of what I've seen so far today from JD. You know, coming into this season, they weren't quite sure what their identity was, and I think this game is going to be a big staple to that this season on who they are as a team and how they're going to progress going forward.
Could not have said it better myself. This is the Red Rams' opportunity to find themselves, and they've certainly found it on the defensive side of the ball. but it's an Oneida ball. Kay Currow will inbound it. She hits Rainbow. Ball taken away. Wrestling is McKinney. Jump ball. No, they give it to Oneida.
And how many times have we seen a jump ball or a loose ball go into possession today?
Far too many. Too many to keep track of at the very least. 18.5 seconds left on the clock. And the shot from Beam is off target. And the they must reset the timeouts at halftime because the Red Rams call a timeout now.
Yeah, I think so, and that would make a lot more sense on why Coach Sweeney used one earlier in this half. So
that would make much more sense, yes. Difference between the boys and the girls game.
One last opportunity here for both coaches to talk things over with their team. And if you're Coach Nessler, it's tough to approach this, but you got to tell your team to keep fighting. Don't worry about the scoreboard at this point in the game. Just got to finish it out.
And while we have this opportunity, one more big shout out to CNY Stream who are helping us put this together. Ian Nicholas on the camera right now of the CNY Stream faithful. They're going to be helping us out in future broadcasts, making sure we have the personnel to be able to bring you the full JDTV experience that you are currently a recipient of right now. JD ball. Sindoni passes out to a wide open McKinney who tries to kill some time. So does Zogby. 3 seconds left, and that's about all she wrote. And this game is in the books, in the pocket, and out of sight. The Jamesville-DeWitt Red Rams take it over Oneida 35-27.
And a full display on all sides of the ball for Red Rams. Great defensive game and way to find themselves as a team. If you're Oneida, though, 0-2 on this season, got to talk things over and find a way to move the ball. Did a good job of really fighting back in that second half and not giving up and not just letting the Red Rams take over.
The future is bright for both of these programs is really the takeaway we can take away at the end of this. We are done here for the day, but do not forget to join us in about 2 weeks on the 14th, a Tuesday. The girls will take on Liverpool. That'll be our next JDTV broadcast. You will not want to miss it. That should be a closely contested matchup. But in the meantime, my name is Sam Gelfand, the voice of the Rams. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Nick Dekaney, our cameraman, Ian Nicholas, and all of us here at JDTV, have a very good rest of your day, wherever you may be.